Then we have Veronica, who was feuding with all the store people, the big store people in the
Yeah, I
Gambia.
saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, and she was creating enemies that she didn't realize she was creating enemies who were very powerful. And then she's just found unresponsive in her house.
Recently, here in this sector of YouTube, we've been talking about a lot of situations dealing with women from the West or black women from the Western world that passed away mysteriously or by acts of violence in Gambia. And this is something that I want to talk about, not because I'm trying to be mean or be a misogynist. This is just an important topic that we need to keep discussing here on this channel. And it brings me to a stream that Brother Dynas Demir of the Search Uhuru channel did a few days ago with a lady by the name of Kiki Loves Nigeria. And again, I love to caution all African Americans or those in the diaspora coming back to Africa, but primarily single women. This is something that you need to know because your lifestyle in the West or in America or in Canada or in the United Kingdom is much different on the continent of Africa. I'm a man, and it's much different for me. So if it's much different for me, it definitely will be much different from you. But Dynas has been talking about this for a long time. And the one thing that was really talked about on this particular podcast is what kind of attitude should a woman have dealing with an African man in the Gambia?
You got to have the right mindset. You can't go over there thinking like an American woman and moving like an American woman because that gets you in trouble.
Expand on that part, the moving like an American woman. Expand on that.
Like, for instance, you can't go over there. Like here, we pretty much run our business. You know what I mean? We speak for ourselves. We handle our business. We pay for our things. In Africa, women don't move like that. So you can't move like that. You can't go around doing things that men do, like handling business. You can't do that. You can handle it in your house with your husband or whoever you with. But if you're in Gambia, you're gonna be with a husband. If that man care about you, you're going to be his wife, not his girlfriend. Because Muslim men don't do girlfriends. So if you somebody's girlfriend, that's a big sign that he don't care nothing about you. Now, business, women don't handle business, and you don't disagree with a man in public. And when you disagree with him at home, you got to be careful. You can't raise your voice. You can't be checking somebody.
Do it again. You can't be doing what? You can't be doing what? Do it again. Do it again.
You can't be checking nobody. You can't be all like that. You know how we get. You can't do that. You can't be doing your head and all that. No. All that's got to cease. You got to be real respectful and you got to be humble. And if you're not moving like that, you setting yourself up for trouble. And that's what's so sad. We don't realize that. We think we're just going over there doing what we do. Oh, you're not going to talk back to me. Oh, you're not going to disrespect me. No, you can't go over there and just have that mindset or you're going to get yourself in a whole lot of trouble.
So you heard that. You're not going to be snapping your fingers and things like that. It's the same thing that I've said. It's the same thing that Dynas said. And also doing business as a single woman is going to be difficult. But I want to kind of go back to the Anja Africa stream because when she wanted to break up with the guy, she confronted him. And this is what she said she did.
So I get to the location where this individual is and I look at him real good. And now mind you, I already know he's a demon. He's a foot soldier for the devil. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, that is the same costume he had on when I met him. Another sign, right? Signs, symbols, and synchronicities. I said, okay. So I say, well, do you want to sit over here by the water? He says, no. I said, okay. He wanted to sit like in a shaded area, but there was people there. So I didn't want him. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. I don't want to embarrass you in front of people. I go over to where he wants to sit and I go to sit down and the man who owns the place has a chicken. So he's talking to me. He hasn't seen me. He misses me. And I'm telling him, listen, we need to wrap this situation up. He says, what do you mean? I said, there are such things as soulmates, twin spirits, and karmics. I said, you are a karmic. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, you are probably someone who killed me in a past life. He was just like, why would you say that? I said, because I see exactly who you are. I said, you're a demon. Straight up, you a demon. I see who you are. I see your sexual preferences. I see all of you. It's in the tiles. When I do water divination, I can see you.
Okay, this is not about victim blaming. The lady has passed on, and I'm not here to put any ill wishes on her name. But her name was brought up on this particular podcast. I won't play that clip. But Anja Africa even said that she confronted the guy, told him to his face what kind of person he was. Let me say this. In the American context, we're that kind of people. African Americans, we're very direct. We see things that we don't like. We like to tell you about it, all right? But here's what I've learned living in Uganda, and I believe that it's very similar in Gambia. In many African cultures, I'm not saying it's the same, but I would say similar, that is often received as a sign of disrespect. I am so straightforward and blunt. People on my team, and Jonita has talked to me about this, like, listen, when we want to do something with the business, you don't need to be a part of it. Let us handle it. Because the way that you come across, real direct, people can easily get offended. Now, I'm the man and I'm having that particular perception, right? And it would be better if we had people in the diaspora that there's a middleman between our group and the other people, but typically it's not. It's us confronting them with our issues or disappointment. What we would expect for them to see is what we are saying, and we're probably dealing with a point that's valid. For example, a lot of scamming happens on the continent. A lot of under-promising and under-delivering happens a lot on the continent. So when I'm talking to you in a way that you should be held accountable, I'm expecting that you should receive it from that vantage point. Want to know what happens? Usually the person is not receiving what you're saying. They are receiving it how you're saying it. Wow, I can't believe you're talking to me so disrespectful. Wow, I can't believe you're talking to me so rude. Who do you think you are? You are in my country. I'm telling you because I've experienced this and I know this. So instead of them trying to deal with it from that vantage point, what they would like to do at that point is try to make your life miserable as possible, block you from many different things in the private sector as possible, to try to keep you as limited as possible, ignore you, downplay your success. I know it because it's been done to me in certain instances, okay? People on one hand want you to chase them and kiss their all right? And then when they mess you over or screw you over, and then if you have a problem with them and you bring it to their attention, then okay, let me limit you. So now what you have to do is when you are even screwed over on the continent, there is a way that you have to even deal with it. I'll listen to this one dude, and he was talking about how somebody stole his radio, all right? He knew the card that took it. He called the person, the police said, listen, we know you took this guy's thing. You need to bring it back to him, right? You know what the guy said? I'll bring it back to him if he gives me money for gas. What? He stole it from the guy. So the guy had to pay gas for the thing that he stole and he brought it back to him, but he had to pay him for something that he took. Now, it sounds stupid in the United States for somebody to do something like that because you took it. You should have some level of accountability and feel sorry. You should just bring it back because you took it. But nope, that's not how everybody sees it. Now, these are men we're talking about. If you're a woman, that could be even different. A man or a man here could see it like, listen, I'm a man. I should be able to do whatever I want. And yeah, you are right. But who are you to tell me about myself? Don't you know that I'm a man? You have no right to talk to me in any sort of way, especially not in a disrespectful tone. And unfortunately, when you're not in America, well, you don't have 911 you can call, or you don't have people that can come and help you. You're on somebody else's territory, dealing with somebody else's rule. And when you're dealing with somebody else's room and somebody else's house, unfortunately, your rules are not the same. I honestly feel a lot of ladies get mad at me or search for Uhuru because you have a particular view of what you think should happen when you get to Africa or any country of your choice. And you know what? In a perfect world, you're right. But you know what? That can also be a delusion of grandeur because what you expect and the rights that you expect that you should get, you're quickly going to find out that those things do not exist. Of course, we would love the right to be treated equally, to be treated fairly, to experience a level of parity in partnerships in business arrangement. But unfortunately, in most African countries, you're probably not going to get it to that level unless you create that ecosystem for yourself. And that is very difficult. And the equality that you feel like you should have as a Western educated woman and a woman who grew up in America, Britain, or Canada, what you feel that you should get is not what you're going to get. All right. What I feel I should get is never what I get. So I'm not trying to say it to be mean, but you should prepare yourself and you need to understand that you are going to be in a new world. It's a great world. It's a great great experience and it can be an amazing time. I'm having the best time of my life and I would not trade it for the world. But also, it could be dangerous for you if you have the attitude that they talked about. You really got to check a lot of your stuff at the door. I'm a man. I got to check a lot of stuff that I say at the door and do at the door. And I'm a very proudful man. I'm 102 kilograms myself, 225 pounds of man, all right? And I'm checking my stuff at the door. What would that say about you? All right. We are foreigners on another land in another country, and being from America and American education and the US dollar and all of that stuff might not mean as much as you think it means. So you got to act accordingly. Watch yourself. So guys, with these niggas, your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again. Another episode here at Fair Use. I'm out.